What if the person who loved you most completely and without condition is the same person who will vanish from your life so thoroughly it's as if they never existed? Stay with me, because what Carl Jung discovered about the psychology of departure will completely reframe everything you thought you knew about loyalty, loss, and the ones who loved you the hardest. Most people think that when someone leaves, it's about anger, about resentment, about choosing someone else over you. But Jung understood something far more terrifying than that. The most final departures don't come from hate. They come from clarity. And nobody achieves that clarity faster or more completely than a super empath who has finally seen enough. Here's what people fundamentally misunderstand about empaths. They assume that because empaths feel deeply, they break easily, that their sensitivity is a fault line running through them, waiting to crack under pressure. But Jung's research into the structure of the psyche revealed the opposite. He discovered that individuals with dominant feeling function, those who process the world through emotional intelligence rather than detachment, develop what he called psychological endurance. Not because they feel less, but because they've learned to carry more than most people can imagine. The super empath doesn't leave at the first wound. They don't leave at the second. They absorb, they adapt, they extend grace in quantities that would exhaust the average person completely. They stay when they should go. They believe when evidence says otherwise. They love harder precisely when the relationship asks them to love less. This is not weakness. Jung called it the burden of the feeling type. And it's the very thing that makes their eventual departure so absolute. Here's where it gets deeply uncomfortable. And if you recognize yourself in what comes next, pay close attention. According to Carl Jung's model of psychological thresholds, every human psyche has a point of no return. A moment when the accumulated weight of betrayal, dismissal, or chronic emotional negligence tips the internal scale permanently. Jung called this the critical saturation point, and for super empaths, this threshold is extraordinarily high. Which means when they finally reach it, you don't get no going back. You don't receive an ultimatum delivered in anger. You don't witness a dramatic exit. What you get instead is something far more unsettling. You get silence. A stillness that wasn't there before. A sudden absence of the warmth you had stopped noticing until the moment it disappeared. The super empath doesn't leave loudly. They leave completely. So what triggers it? What are the specific behaviors that push someone with this kind of psychological depth past the point of return? Jung observed that the most damaging forces in any human relationship are not the explosive cruelties. Those are visible. Those can be named and addressed. The truly corrosive behaviors are the quiet ones, the ones that accumulate invisibly over time like sediment on the bottom of a river, unseen until the water stops flowing. The first is chronic invisibility, not being ignored dramatically but being seen selectively, having your depth acknowledged when it's convenient and dismissed when it isn't. The super empath offers a rare quality of attention to the people they love. They notice everything. They remember what matters to you. They show up in the specific ways that require genuine observation. When that energy is met with indifference, something begins to shift deep in the architecture of their psyche. The second is what Jung called the invalidation loop, the repeated experience of naming something real and being told it isn't, being made to feel irrational for perceiving what they are, in fact, perceiving accurately. Super empaths have highly calibrated internal instruments. When someone continuously tells them their instruments are broken, they don't simply accept that. They begin to study the person doing the telling. And what they find there changes everything. The third, and perhaps the most fatal, is the weaponization of their care. Using their capacity for compassion as leverage, knowing they will forgive and counting on it, presenting vulnerability strategically to reset the cycle. The super empath who has reached psychological maturity recognizes this pattern not with bitterness, but with the cold precision of someone reading a map they've memorized by heart. Jung said that the psyche, once it recognizes a pattern, cannot unrecognize it. That is not cruelty. That is how human consciousness protects itself. Now here is the part that will stay with you. When a super empath makes the decision to leave, it has typically already been made internally long before any external sign appears. Jung described this as the silent individuation threshold, the moment when the inner self withdraws its investment before the outer self has taken a single visible step. This means that by the time you notice something is wrong, by the time the conversations feel different or the distance becomes undeniable, the super empath has already gone. Not physically, not yet, but in every way that actually matters, they are already somewhere else. They are not angry. Anger requires continued engagement. They are not sad in the way that asks for comfort. They have moved through that sadness alone, quietly, in the spaces between all the moments you weren't paying attention. What remains on their face is something Jung identified as the expression of the individuated self, a calm that doesn't invite interpretation, a clarity that has no edge to it, no heat, nothing to hold on to. And that expression is the last thing many people see before the silence becomes permanent. Jung observed something crucial about the psychology of departure in individuals who have completed this internal process. He noted that they do not leave in order to punish. They leave in order to survive. And then, if they do their inner work, they leave in order to become. The super empath who walks away is not running from you. They are walking toward themselves, toward the version of their life where their sensitivity is honored rather than exploited, where their depth is met rather than managed, where their care is received rather than consumed. Jung called this the return to authentic relational need, the recognition that love without reciprocity is not love. It is practice. It is rehearsal for real love, paid for at great personal cost. Here is what you will not be able to undo once you understand it. The super empath does not hold the door open behind them. This is the thing most people discover too late. They imagine that the departure is a negotiation, that it can be appealed, that the right words at the right moment will reverse the tide. But Jung's research into psychological finality showed that when someone has reached true individuation through loss, when they have processed the grief, integrated the shadow, and reclaimed their psychological sovereignty, they become what he described as unreachable by the mechanisms that once controlled them. They are not cold. They are clear. They will not hate you. They will not need you to understand. They have no remaining emotional debt that requires your acknowledgement to be settled. They have already settled it, within themselves, without you. Carl Jung said that the most complete form of human liberation is not the absence of feeling. It is feeling everything fully and choosing, with total consciousness, where to direct that feeling next. The super empath who leaves carries no bitterness. They carry everything they learned, every moment of grace they extended, every truth they named that went unheard, every version of you they chose to believe in before the evidence made belief impossible. They carry it not as wounds, as wisdom. And they walk forward into a life built on that wisdom, quietly, without ceremony, without looking back. Jung called it the hero's departure, not dramatic, not announced, just gone, completely, irrevocably, and for good. And somewhere in the room they just left, the air is slightly different. Something essential is missing. And only then, in that specific silence, do some people finally understand what they had.